Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this week's script group. We're going to be going over some exciting scripts, including one from William, who's joining us today. Say hello, William.
Hello.
Hi. Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me.
And William, you submitted a story off the grid. What's this about?
So this is takes place in a desert setting.
I like it.
Yeah, desert setting based on a real life town that's really eccentric.
Okay.
So I used a lot of the scenes of the actual town, and it's about a town that goes kind of viral for its
Mhm.
eccentricities. It's kind of it's right on the border, U.S. Mexico border, and it draws tourists who are sort of rubbernecking around the town, and those that live there are sort of off the grid. And there's a guy who runs a pirate radio show who just broadcasts just for his own entertainment and kidnaps tourists and brings them, forces them to be interviewed on his radio show.
So this is like a horror or like a farce?
It's like
Or
horror, psychological, more psychological thriller kind of
Okay.
kidnapping thing, yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So yeah, we're gonna get into that, and that should be cool. And let's see. So John, you were saying just before we went live, you had mentioned you wrote a cool action female protagonist, and I was like, for what did you write that?
What do you mean? What do you? Sorry.
I
mean, we had discussed this before about
Yeah.
the story not having an adult female protagonist. So
Right. Yes, we had.
I
talked about that, yeah.
I was already working on one when you made that comment. So I
Right.
was just saying that there is. I did actually add one.
Okay. But no, I was saying, I think I wanted a more traditional male action hero for our zombies on a train movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
As
Okay. Glad we agreed. Why? Because I'm
Yes.
putting money in it and I want money back from it.
Orange. Fucking orange.
When we're going into the next movie round, you see why it's show business and not show friends. All right.
Oh no, it's fine. No. You have no. She's not an action hero. She is a She is more of she's a sympathetic helper.
Okay.
So.
All right. Cool. Let's see. I'm gonna put this over here. Then I'm gonna present. And William, since you're here, we always like to reward people for showing up. I will go over your story first.
Yay.
Yay. Let's see. Which one is share screen? Art business.
What does that say?
Yeah.
can't-
What is the button? Art business. What is it?
Art plus business equals cinema.
Oh, okay.
There we go. All right. Okay. How do I work these buttons down here in the bottom? Oh, there's. What's this one do?
I don't know. This is
I
our
don't
program.
know. Yeah, that one's share screen. Okay. All right, share screen. There, off the. Okay. All right, so here we are. William, who would you like to narrate?
Can you get rid of all that extra stuff on the
Yes,
screen?
hold on. There we go. I got rid of it for you.
More.
You can't get rid of that sidebar. Like
You
this
can't?
No, you can't. That sidebar stuff.
I'll read it. That's
Okay.
fine.
Well,
I'll do it.
I can maybe zoom in a bit. There you go. All right. Okay, go ahead,
Okay.
Robert.
Interior, Richard's trailer, living room, night. Flashback, 1985. There's heavy rain outside. Wind rattles the radios. Richard, age 15, opens the door from the outside. He braces the door against the wind. Rita, Richard's mother, barrels through the door with a waterlogged dog in her arms. Richard struggles to pull the door shut. Rita, in a hurry, sets the dog down. The dog shakes the water off its fur. Lights flicker off and on. Rita doesn't bother to remove her raincoat as she sits at the radio console. She flips a switch to broadcast on the air. Richard crouches down beside the dog. Rita speaks into a microphone.
All right, we need a Rita. Maybe we should give it to the female. What do you say, Diane?
You sound like a Ferengi. So, female.
You happy I let you work?
That's sexist, Preston. Casting the female as a female character.
She's the pronoun of the moment.
She is.
Okay. Well, blow me down. We knew that we knew we was. What?
We knew we was getting
Okay.
a storm.
We knew we was getting a storm. We didn't know we'd get sloshed like this. Golly. Anyone missing a black schnauzer? I picked up in the street. He's safe with me.
Richard pets the dog.
River is rising. We need everybody who is able to help sandbag at Avenue B. Then we all meet at the rec center. Bring your booze, bring your pets. We ride this out. Meantime, I'll leave you with a little bit of light in this dark hour. Rita, signing off. God bless.
Rita places the needle on the Jerry Clower album. She and Richard prepare to go out into the storm. The lights flicker.
John.
There was only 5 people up there sandbagging.
Mm-hmm.
Thereabout is to be. There's about to be 7. Let's go. Wow.
Will the trailer be okay, Ma?
Back here where we are, yeah. Those trailers by the river, God only knows.
Rita takes Richard by the shoulders. The album crackles.
You are my man of the house now, right?
Yeah.
Sandbags ain't gonna stack themselves.
The album plays.
Preston, I can do the Clower if you want.
Go ahead.
When football season's over with, I don't know what to do.
The Schnauzer watches as Rita and Richard go out the door.
I order me them football films and watch them because I get to craving seeing them folks put them headgears on and strap one another.
The dog lies down with its head on the carpet.
And the Ole Miss Mississippi State game is sold out 12 months ahead. Last year, there's 47,000 people there to see the University of Mississippi play Mississippi State. Grudge game.
A needle dances on the stereo console.
In the middle of the third quarter, a funeral procession passed back behind the stadium.
A record collection on a cluttered bookshelf.
And the fella got up in the stands and turned around and looked over the back of that stadium and put his hat over his heart and stood there still till the funeral passed.
The album spins on the player.
Feller sitting by him said, "Why, Joe, I didn't know you was that respectful. You must be a religious fellow."
Thunder rolls. The dog gets up. It runs out of sight into a wood-paneled hallway.
He said, "Well, it's the least I could do. I was married to her 40 years.
The lights go out. There's a radio tower in the yard.
But
The
out of
lights
curiosity,
go-
William, is there supposed to be a slug line here?
Oh, exterior. Yeah, it is.
I think that's
Okay.
supposed to be a slug line. I don't know
See-
what the exterior is, but yeah.
Scene. It's outside. Obviously, it's exterior, so it's a scene heading. The lights go out. Exterior yard.
Oh,
There is a radio tower in the yard. The lights go off.
Yeah, that just shows it's the only exterior shot. It just shows the power going out, basically.
okay. All right.
Exterior desert, Rio Grande River, day, present time. On the Mexican side, 2 horses drink from a riverbank under a sun-filled sky. On the USA side, there is a 10-foot tall dike that towers over the river. On top of the dike, bottle rocket firecrackers are set up. Louis, 13, has an inbred appearance with secondhand clothes. He wears a toy wig made of long red streamers. He lights the fuses with an almost empty clicker, then scrambles away as the fuse burns down. The bottle rockets scream into the air as the Louis shouts in excitement. He overhears nervous horses whining from across the river. Louis scrambles down the steps of the dike to catch fragments of the firecrackers. He hears the sound of somebody in the river. Curious, he climbs up the steps, then peeks over the top of the dike down below. From Louis's position, he sees 2 unmounted horses on the Mexican side. Down a ways, he observes two teens across through chest-high water to the U.S. side. Each holds a satchel over their head. Louis sits on the edge of the dike to watch. The Mexican boys emerge from the water. He scratches his head with his knuckles. From the riverbank, the boys stare up at Louis. One boy offers a wave to which Louis doesn't respond. The Mexican boys start on a path that ascends to the top of the dike. Louis moves closer, still a safe distance away. The boys reach to the top of the dike. They approach a knee-high wooden box. Louis glares at them. The boys remove items from their satchels, which they arrange on the box. They repack their other items into the satchels. Satisfied, they proceed out of sight down the path. Louis walks to the box to see what the boys left behind. It is revealed that the Mexicans placed handmade trinkets on the boulder for sale. There is a small box with a money slot. The box has "Gracias" painted on it. Louis stands there on the edge of the dike to see where the Mexicans are. He sees them back in the water, satchels above their heads. Louis wrinkles his nose. He sits on his knees to get a closer look at the treasures. Intrigued by its colors, he picks up the hand-painted fish made of shale rock. Louis examines the trinket as the boys emerge from the water. After a moment, he places his empty clicker where the fish has been. He scrambles down the steps toward the road. Interior, exterior, Riviera, Texas, desert road moments later. An SUV travels down an access road along the Rio Grande. Carlin drives with his girlfriend Sammy in the passenger seat. He wears a gold chain with a cross tucked under his polo shirt. Sammy has long auburn hair. They hold hands. Nearby, Louis walks toward the road with his shale fish. As the vehicle approaches, Louis notices the out-of-state plates. He picks up a stone. He throws it toward the vehicle, but he's too far away to be a threat. Carlin sees this as they pass by.
It's hot. Some little kid throwing stones at cars.
Sammy ignores him. She sees the town sign ahead.
There you go. You be Sammy.
I'm Sammy? Okay.
You're the only woman here.
Okay. Okay, this is Riviera. Pull over at the town sign.
Carlin smirks.
Sammy, seriously?
Yes, this is an adventure. Pull over or I'll throw myself from the car.
Carlin fakes concern.
Okay.
Carlin stops the SUV. They exit. Sammy stands a Riviera town sign. Yeah. Sammy stands in front of the sign with her phone. Carlin looks down the road for Louis, but doesn't see him.
How far from the border are we?
On the border, Carlin. Picture. We want to remember this.
Carlin caps his sunglasses. Sammy smiles as she takes the picture. SUV moments later. They enter the vehicle. Carlin applies chapstick to his lips. He checks the rearview mirror while he starts the car.
Play something.
They drive away. Sammy checks her playlist.
So, do you remember the vids I showed you of this place?
Yeah, all depressed mobile homes.
It's all trailers. Most are abandoned and dilapidated.
I don't hear... not me.
I don't hear anything.
Sammy starts an upbeat song. Carlin moves to the beat.
Nobody here really works. It's mostly government assistance, but they are all pretty much off the grid.
And people come all the way down here to see this place?
Every car we pass is a tourist, just because we heard all about all the weird shit.
Riviera outskirts. Riviera is a remote trailer park 45 miles from the nearest town. The perimeter forms a square. There are streets marked A through H Avenue that run east-west. 1st, 2nd, 3rd Street runs north-south. H Avenue runs parallel to the Rio Grande River. Along the dike, the river marks the USA-Mexico border. They approach an unused flat-topped roof building with a 2-door bay that had once served as the fire department. There is an outdated fire truck in front. 3 kids play on the ladder of the fire truck. They make rude gestures as the visitors pass. Carlin nods in mock approval.
That's awesome. Very welcoming.
Well, these kids have nobody. Imagine growing up here.
Carlin turns up the volume. He puts his arm around Sammy. He starts to sing as he pulls her closer. Sammy sings with him. At a break in the song, Sammy smiles at Carlin. She speaks over the music.
fun to go on adventures with you.
Sammy kisses Carlin's cheek.
It is fun now and then. I'm always like to see you happy.
She puts her hand on his crotch. She squeezes him.
I have to pee.
Sammy pulls her hand away. She rolls her eyes. Carlin slows the vehicle down. Sammy perks up as she mutes the song. Interior, exterior, Riviera Trailer Park, day, continuous. They arrive at the first row of trailers, which appear to be lived in. The lots are surrounded by chain link fences. Most of the yards are littered with clutter. They approach a sign on a metal pole that says stop and pay. They pass the small convenience store, which is the only business in town. The unlit sign above the barred glass door reads beer, liquor, lotto. There is a handwritten sign that says hiring near the door.
Closes at 5 o'clock. Oh, wait, no. You're Sam.
Closes at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I don't think we need anything there.
After the first turn, they come across abandoned trailers. They are vandalized. Many have decayed from the elements. Carlin is in disbelief at the squalor.
Holy shit.
There is a trailer where the walls are knocked down to the studs. Other trailers are covered in graffiti. Many of the windows are broken out. A rental car with darkened windows passes by Sammy and Carlin. Sammy leans forward in her seat. Carlin pulls the sunglasses to the bridge of his nose.
This is like the Hills Have Eyes, super weirdos.
Well, come on. They don't have any money or resources down here.
Carlin turns down the next street.
Hello, they don't have any brains. That's why they live here.
I think a lot of them just come here to retire.
There's nobody retired here. To retire, you have to have done something to retire from. My father says all they do is collect government checks.
Sammy rolls her eyes.
Then when they die, the trailers just rot.
Sammy looks cross. Carlin makes amends.
I mean, it's still fun, though. I'm having fun.
Both become fixated as Carlin slows down to a stop.
Holy fucking shit.
TV shrine. There is a trailer that has been decorated with a shrine of old box televisions. The roof has numerous TVs on it, with the glass tubes hand-painted over. The front wall of the trailer has box TVs stacked up to the roof. The front yard is filled with dish antenna attached to wooden posts in the ground. Many of the antenna have faces painted on them.
See, I told... Oh, wait, that's you.
See, I told you there's shit we've never seen before. This is what I've been telling you about.
Sammy takes a picture with her phone.
Okay. I wouldn't even know how to describe this, although at least when we get murdered here and eaten and served with mustard, maybe they'll film it. You can have your chance to be on TV.
Sammy looks at Carlin. She raises an eyebrow.
I wouldn't taste good with mustard. I'd need something sweet. You would.
You would.
You would. You're pretty bitter.
Very funny.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Carlin drives. Streets of town.
It's funny you're being all touristy.
We are not tourists. This is simply to see something different.
Barbecue.
What?
It's more of a barbecue flavored. I'm more of a barbecue flavored guy.
Where do they even get all those TVs from out here?
Carlin smirks.
Lip licking, finger licking.
Carlin licks his finger and puts it in Sammy's ear. She laughs.
Oh my God, will you stop?
Another rental car passes by with a driver behind a tinted window. Carlin turns onto the perimeter street. They pass Cedric, 20, an athletic black man with stylish clothes. Carlin makes eye contact. He locks the doors.
You know a person can hear when you do that.
Can you imagine what these people are like? That's 10 pages. So, welcome aboard. And thanks for coming on, William.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, wait, that's the wrong button. It's they took the labels off. Is it? Wait, stop. There we go. Okay. All right. Let's see. What did we like about this one? I mean, it's fairly quite fast to the point.
It is.
We have our setting. Clearly, we have our main adventure couple here, and Sammy and
Carlin.
Carlin, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Sammy and Carlin. We have a bit of foreshadowing. Bad things are coming up.
We're in a place where there's desperateness, there is poverty,
Yeah.
there is possibly some bleak,
Yeah.
sinister things going on. So
I feel like I feel like zombies or something.
I
Yeah,
mean, well,
They said,
I mean, it's
they
a-
said nobody has any brains, so there can't be any zombies. They'd starve.
right. Yeah. I mean, there's certainly a fair amount of derision towards these rural bumpkins,
Mhm.
good for nothing. They're living off the government. That's what
That's what they're saying.
that's
Yeah.
what they're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And we opened with it seemed like a storm coming, and there was a Rita who was really a very practical woman, made sure everything was happening. I'm not exactly sure where those two are going to combine in the future, but I'm sure they will eventually. And Rita was a cool character.
And they have actually, the dialogue is snappy.
Yeah.
So they do have a very natural interaction.
Right.
I'm not sure where it's going.
No,
but-
I like,
but
I
it-
liked your mastery of screenplay format, with the exception of all the right subheadings, but I'm going to get to that in a minute. John Lamont, what do you think?
We introduced two sets of characters. Both are kind of interesting and unique in their own way. I agree. The Rita character was quite interesting, and somebody that I'm curious what happened to her, and the touristy couple, not a tourist couple, and that was some interesting banter. I could see like two people have been probably stuffed in a car for several hours on end. That seems like it might be the kind of, I imagine this isn't a 20-minute drive from their house, so they've probably been in their car for 6 hours or something like that. So I could see this kind of being the kind of conversation that they might have after 6 hours worth of driving. So
It's in
it seems
Texas. If
pretty
they go to the grocery store, it's 6 hours, for God's sake.
That's how I feel about Los Angeles.
But that's only a block away.
Yes,
I know,
6
that's what I
hours to
meant.
go a block in Los Angeles, exactly.
Texas, I feel like I can speed to the grocery store and back fairly quickly.
But yeah, so the banter was interesting and seemed natural.
Robert.
Okay, 3 different sets of experiences going on. So I'm going to say you have 3 worlds that you've built. The first one is inside the trailer during a rainstorm and discovering the relationship between Rita and her son, and her relationship to the community, which is what the radio broadcast obviously was about, and her work ethic. So we learned a lot about who Rita is, and and her role in whatever's going to be happening. And I don't remember the other characters' names, but the young boy who set off some firecrackers, and Louis looked over the edge of the dike, the dam, the levee, whatever it is, to see the river and the guys going
lesbian.
across it. And what's that?
The 10-foot lesbian.
Very funny. And anyway, he saw he saw this. I'm going to call it a ritual, if you will, or an act of faith, and not so much religious, that these young men went across, put it on a box, hoping to make some money on the honor system, which is an interesting thing, especially for this kid who I believe we learned he was addled in some way on the spectrum, perhaps, in terms of where it's
definitely.
at. So he was super observant and pulling it all in, and I did feel that definitely. And then, of course, the where we spent the majority of the time, and certainly all the dialogue by percentage, with the couple in the car driving by, observing things, and the opinions and the characters. The line between how different they are and how they perceive things is very clear, and that's where it is. And then I'll save the rest for constructive.
Well, go ahead. How could we make it better? Wait.
Okay. This is not an engaging first 10 pages. For me, I'm going to say virtually nothing happens. It would be a very slow start to a film. And I'm a person who prefers a cold open, of something that really grabs you with something that's going on. There's nothing going on here. and especially the letdown after the storm that we never see it again, that we're in the desert and there's a storm. I know it rains there, but I would like to get a better sense of what that world is and what that means, that the rain is there, that we're all going to get flooded out and it's really bad, but then it goes away. And I'm left there with a boy wandering out. I assume it's in the evening because of the fireworks, and in moonlit, romantic thing of immigrants crossing the river, which is a hot topic right now, particularly, and his gazing into the heaven and watching this, as I said, act of faith goes nowhere. You left me hanging with something that was incredibly interesting. So now I have two interesting things that you've abandoned, and then the third one is what happens to this couple where the guy is certain something bad's going to happen, but in fact nothing happens. So my constructive things would be tie it together, put something in there that's an inciting incident that somebody has to overcome. Nobody has to overcome anything, except finding an owner of a dog. That's about the most dramatic thing that occurs, other than these laconic observations that are going on. So that's how I would put it.
John.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Robert on that. The car scene seemed to kind of go nowhere, and I didn't really feel like an impending doom was about to be set upon them. I mean, unless this is a zombie movie, because for some reason I got zombie vibes with this town. And the storm, as Robert's pointed out, was actually quite interesting. I was kind of involved with that, except for the point then you then focus on a record player for 2 minutes when I feel like now, if you wrote what's on the record and you're not just playing a record that exists in real life or repeating it, I want to say actually, let me ask you first, William, did you write that? What's supposed to be playing on the record?
No, remember, he's doing a radio show throughout the entire script, so he's playing records.
How do we know
that? What is playing on the record? Did you write what is playing on the record, or did you go and get a radio show from somewhere else and you're copying somebody else's radio show in your script?
That's an actual comedian and his actual quote.
Okay, so you are quoting somebody potentially without their permission in your script. Not necessarily a good idea unless you have his permission. So I would either personally, again, if you're going to try to sell this, you may want to try securing all your rights before you try to sell the rights to this. Otherwise, you're now leaving your potential producer to have to secure those rights. Or if you have a buddy that's a comedian and you guys can like play something back and forth, you give him co-writing credit on the screenplay by you, whatever, and then you would just have him anyway throwing idea. My point was, you show a record player for at least 60 seconds, which is going to be boring to most people. That's like watching somebody watching a TV show, and all we're seeing is the TV show that the character that we're supposed to be watching is watching. A more visually interesting way to play that, especially if that radio show is supposed to be tied into your story, is if we actually show people fighting the storm, dropping sandbags, and you have that as a voiceover on top of them while they're doing something. That would be more interesting. And I think that would also play into your of the three sets of characters that we're introduced to. I personally felt like Rita and her son, I'm assuming it's her son. I felt like those were the most interesting of these pair of characters that you introduced us with. So I would have liked to have seen a little bit more with them, because in these 10 pages, their story and what they're doing was more interesting to me than autistic kid with firecrackers and this couple who may or may not be driving to certain doom. So, so I guess my critique would be, give us more of an inciting incident with those characters, and be careful about using quotes and stories from people that you don't have the rights for.
Diane, you got anything?
While the dialogue was snappy, I don't like everyone said, I don't know where it's going. I didn't get like zombie vibes. I got like strangely like I'm probably going to get killed by Hicks, kind of like a deliverance.
Yeah, it could have been that too. Or
I
zombie
got like
Hicks.
a deliverance drive.
No, he
Yeah.
said he was going to get barbecued, or something.
The barbecue, which I was like, all of a sudden I got like Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of thing
That's
going
that's
on.
one of my favorite films. Okay,
Yeah.
one of my Leatherface, man. I'm a Leatherface fan.
You know, Preston had never seen Texas Chainsaw
I've
Massacre
never seen it, yeah.
until I showed it to him.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Your culture. But and so I got like they're probably gonna end up picking up a hitchhiker and dying.
Okay.
So that's what I kind of got, but I was kind of waiting for that, and it
Mhm.
didn't happen within those 10 pages. So instead I just got dialogue. They're cute, but again, I don't know where the incident is. As everyone said, the exciting incident.
They're not 6 minutes of cute, by the way.
Yeah,
They are not 6 minutes of cute.
6 minutes of cute, which is fine because you're establishing characters. Now they are doing exposition, so you're setting up stuff.
It's
But
world
I
building. That's
hope-
it.
Yeah, but I think you.
Hopefully, well, let me finish.
I know. I'm sorry.
Hopefully, it's going to go somewhere and actually, have meaning within the story itself, because you're like, oh, you're setting up the area that it's touristy. It has population. There's poverty. Some type of conflicts going on. Something's going to happen, but are they going to happen in relation to the next scene coming up? So, and I don't know, because that's where it cut off. So I do think that you can cut out a great deal of the dialogue and make it quicker.
Mhm.
And you can bring in the incident faster, and you can also bring in more conflict faster. Also, they seem like they're cute and everything, but I don't, other than some tiny little passive aggressive shit, there's nothing much going on.
I mean,
So,
they're a fairly generic.
Yeah, they're generic.
Yeah, touring couple.
And it's just like they have like small little like.
They're
ticks.
ripe to be killed. I will give them that.
Yeah. They are ripe to be killed.
Yeah.
But
And if that's going to be their fate, that needs to happen in the first 10 pages.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I guess what I'm hearing, and I guess there's a certain thing I can see, is instead of having like 3 different stories that don't necessarily amount to a whole picture, that really grabs us, like if we would just spend more time with one of them.
Yeah.
I
kind of want to know, like, we have all these subplots. I'm not sure which is the main plot.
Mm-hmm.
I assume it's Sammy and Carlin.
Or maybe they just get captured and then Rita has to save them. Who knows?
Well, who knows? I don't know,
yeah.
because we're spending the most time with them compared to
it's funny that the character that grabbed me the most was the autistic kid, and I'd love to see you spin that kid into like okay, I'm going to remake your entire script right now, because this is what we do. Is we start with it and we see this dusty road, and all of a sudden this kid in ragged clothes comes walking up, and the border patrol guy comes pulling up, and he sees, what are you doing out here, kid? And his partner says, oh, that's the autistic kid from the trailer park. And they pick him up, and next scene you see him in the station. They've given him some water, and they go, what happened? And then the entire story is told from the kid's perspective, in terms of what has been, what you start to promise is going to happen, and we hope it does. But something, grab one of these people and use them. Right now, they're just kind of like people you meet in the aisle in Walmart.
People of Walmart.
Yeah. My other note was on your subheadings, and I really like that you use subheadings. It shows very sophisticated, construction of your scenes and your thought process and putting the scenes together, but those should be left justified. The only thing that goes over on the right should be transitions. like
Okay.
Fate 2 and stuff like that. But all right, there you go, William. Now's your chance to tell us how we all got it wrong. What do you think?
You put that like you're used to people pushing back on how you got the first 10 pages wrong all the time.
I mean, I don't know.
So-
yeah.
10
So-
pages.
Did we get it completely wrong?
I wish you could read the full script.
If you keep
I-
coming,
I-
we will.
If we
Yes,
keep
one, if
coming,
you keep
we
coming, we
submit
I don't
do.
know where to start.
But
Um,
we'll present pages 11 to 20 next week, and we'll go through
Preston,
them.
Yeah.
Preston has them. I sent him the first 20.
Okay. So
Um,
You're welcome
our
to show up
opinions-
when we talk about it next week.
yeah, and our opinions may change by the time that those in the next 10 pages come in. We go, oh, okay, so this happens and this happens. That makes sense and all this stuff. But this is just the first 10 pages. If you feel like, hey, give me another chance, let me see the other 10. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
So yeah. So don't be discouraged.
okay,
So
great.
this is just our just like very bare bones look on the first 10 pages. Let's see what the next 10 pages hold.
Yeah.
So
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right.
You're
no
You're
problem.
welcome to stick around while we go
Yeah.
through other scripts.
Exactly.
and you can offer your opinions as well
There you go.
and see if they can get some
Okay.
you can help them
Thank
out.
you.
Exactly. All right. Let's see. This is really just an outline.
Oh,
Somebody, let's take a look at an outline. I Was a Teenager Clone by Kevin Hager.
I love it. It has a wonderful 50s vibe.
There we go.
That's my jam.
Sci-fi action logline. A teenage girl finds out she was cloned and fights for freedom. Let me know what you think. All right. Synopsis. I was a teenage clone. Eve Banks is a teenage girl living with her reclusive father, Brad Banks, since the death of her mother, Tessa, who was killed by Jensen Reed, who was obsessed with her. The only person they speak to the most of the time is Brad's boss, William Packard, the owner of the genetics research company. When Eve starts having strange dreams that are reminiscent of her mother and is allowed online friends, namely a boyfriend named Price James, deciding she has had enough seclusion and wants to see the world, she runs off to meet Price. Finding Price's house, she asks the couple to see him as she is his girlfriend. The couple looks confused and tell her she has the wrong house. And when they see the pictures, they tell her Price is actually their son, Alan Connor. Meeting Alan for the first time, he sees the picture of Eve's mother and recognizes her as Teresa Reed, Jameson's wife. Eve asks to meet them and learns from Tessa that Brad was her neighbor who had an obsession with her, but when she was becoming inappropriate with her, he severed ties with him and married Jensen, who was her real boyfriend. A group of people attack them and attempt to kill Eve, but Jensen fights them off, and they capture Brad and using his computer gain access and find out a terrifying truth. Eve isn't Brad and Tessa's daughter. She is Tessa's clone. Well, there you go.
There you go.
There you go. She was created by Brad because Tessa married Jensen instead of him and planned to transplant himself into a clone of his younger body when Eve grew up, and that he and Packard stuff posed as Eve's online friends, and that Packard is planning to create clone soldiers for the black market. Eve soon learns all of her vague memories are fake implanted memories Brad made for her, and the dreams are Tessa's memories through a mind link. Eva no longer knows what is real and is upset her whole life is a lie. I would find that very upsetting.
Yeah, that would.
That would suck. Yeah.
Which
Yeah, we explored that a little bit in The Matrix. He woke
Yeah.
up and he's like, "Oh, that whole life I had, that was
that was all
that was a
lies.
lie."
Yeah.
But Alan begins comforting her, and the two begin to fall in love. The kids are kidnapped and taken to Packard, who attempts to reprogram Eve, but Alan frees them, and the group makes their escape. And Brad tries to stop them, but is injured and killed and abandoned by Eve, who knows he is not her father and only created her for himself. Jensen faces Packard, and in fight reveals that Alan and his parents have exposed his evil actions, and authorities arrive, and Packard is killed. Packard's company is ruined, and Eve is taken back by the Reeds to a ward and begins a normal childhood, making friends at last with Alan as her boyfriend. Okay. A lot of
Creepy
stuff.
AF.
What was that?
All right, John Lamont, go ahead. Start
Cloning
Yes.
somebody as a teenager and then cloning yourself to put your adult mind in a child body to
Yes.
be the boyfriend. Yeah, that's creepy AF.
That's strange. Yes, I mean,
Yes.
yeah,
I mean, I
but that
guess.
person was the villain, I think.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Sounds like
Um.
grooming to me.
Well, that's why they're the villain.
Yeah, sounds like I was just like, so you're putting your wife and you
Well, no, he's putting the girl that got away. He cloned her as a teenager,
Yes,
and then decided to clone himself
yes,
as a teenager so that he could basically reboot the life that he didn't have with the
her.
one that got away.
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
yeah.
sounds like the artist really needs to work out some stuff and might need, or the
Oh,
writer
we're
needs
throwing stones, John. Why you got to throw stones?
No, okay. So overall, I mean, sci-fi cloning, it's an interesting it's an interesting concept. The way it's being developed here um is interesting. Altered Carbon kind of dealt a little bit with that idea too.
Mhm.
Blade Runner.
Yes, yeah,
Well, the difference between Blade Runner was more about robots. Altered
And
Carbon was literally about people making clones of themselves younger and then transplanting their mind into their younger self so they could essentially live forever. That
Yeah.
was but they were always human. They always had flesh and blood bodies. That was the concept behind Altered Carbon, which this kind of reminds me of. Also, I would like to see a little bit more about how this universe works, because I feel like if this technology exists and you have access to it, why are you not a freaking multi-bazillionaire with all the women and parties that you want? Like, it seems kind of
10 of them. 10 of them. I want 10 of them.
right.
all I'm
And-
going to
and-
say is I don't want to cure cancer. I want to turn people into dinosaurs. All right, thank you.
So
Already been done.
I just feel like in that kind of world, I just feel, again, like in Altered Carbon, these characters that were hundreds of years old, they were all multi-bazillionaires. Like they were the elite of the elite, and they could afford all of this. So I kind of feel like,
Ex
and
Machina,
then
too, a little bit. Yeah.
yeah, well, see, and the other thing that it kind of reminded me of too was one of the critiques that I heard of Ironheart, where the main character's primary motivation in the story is that she has to get money for reasons, even though she's a absolute genius and is making all of these inventions, which she could just patent and sell. But instead of patenting and selling these inventions to get money to do whatever she needs money for, she's going out and committing crimes. Like, that seems to be one of the primary objections that a lot of people have to that show. And I kind of feel like that same issue kind of comes in here, where we have somebody who's a super genius that can do all these things, and yet somehow they, I mean, unless you want to get now, if you want to get into a really dark psychological thriller, like this guy has it all and just is obsessed with having that one person that got away. I think that could be an interesting story, and you could use the sci-fi cloning aspect in the background to where he literally has everything, and maybe he's cloning this person over and over and over again, but he knows it's not that person that he wants, so he keeps disposing of them. Then you have an opening scene where he and the girl are together and they seem all kind of cutesy and she's all over him. And then at the 10-minute mark, he kills her and then throws her body in a furnace and then pulls the next one out of his freezer. And now you're like, holy crap, what the hell just happened? And it's this dark psychological story about this guy obsessed
That's like
about
a
this one
memento
girl.
thing. That's like a memento thing. It's great. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Actually,
I
really
kind of
like
feel like you could use these there's some good concepts here
Yes.
if explored a little bit more, and I
Yes.
think that uber genius who's obsessed with the one that got away, I think could be a really interesting
Well, it's a love story.
It's
sci-fi noir,
It's definitely a love story.
cyberpunk. It's love story gone awry, but
Well,
No. It's a love
obsession.
story. All love goes
it's
awry.
an obsession. It's not a love
yeah,
story.
yeah, it's an obsession story.
So that is actually a great idea. It does remind me a bit of a horror film called Stepfather. The thing is that Stepfather, which is a wonderful horror movie with but the thing is that what he does is that he's a black widower. So he will actually infiltrate a family, marry into that family, and he has this idealized look of like very Leave It to Beaver kind of family 1950s. But when the family ends up becoming human, like having flaws, rebels, being a typical teenager, he kills them and then goes on to the next family. And it's just like, and he is just, he's obsessed with this concept of family. And he's just like, this is how family values, and he even cries about it. And I don't even know how real it is because he's such a good actor. But also like the character is just obsessed with this, like, this is what I want. But every time he creates that for himself, he finds like a woman who's been divorced or widowed, and then tries to make a family of, tries to bring in that family, becomes like the dad, and then something happens and he murders them horribly, and then starts another life, another identity, and doing that. Now that for you saying like this man is obsessed with the one that got away, constantly clones her, and she ends up like not being the right way, not the idealized person, because every clone, no matter how many times you clone a person, will always be different. So, and there's probably one thing that just bugged him, and goes like, he wouldn't react like that. And so
I know the title of this film, Human Nature.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, I like it. So, and it also had reminded me of like the last one of the Jurassic Worlds. They cloned the daughter.
Yeah.
And it was like really creepy because the guy like having cloned the daughter that died and then like raised it. But it was like, it was just kind of weird. It was weird.
It was weird in the way that it kind of did it. It was
It was kind of weird how they did it. I'm like, because he was so mad and obsessed that he wanted to like raise his daughter again and redo it. But the thing is that she wasn't like her. And then that kind of like bugged him. So it really bugged him. And he was like willing to kill her because she wasn't the same. Because she wasn't the same.
I mean, the story presents really interesting themes in terms of, you know, obsession and technology. And I mean, certainly goes into like the very cyberpunk dimensions of
Ex Machina was very similar.
The horrific aspects of being able to clone consciousness and, you know, clone bodies, and
people are doing that with their dogs. So there is a program where you can actually take like your dog, and you're so obsessed with your dog, you want a replica of your dog. That dog's not going to be the same as your dog. So, but they try. Gosh, Dan, they try.
Anyway, but the story, you know, it touches on certainly aspects that we find interesting. In terms of how it's presented, I mean, we are in the head of the teenage clone, and she finds out her life is a lie. Well, I mean, what I dislike is I think it keeps getting like the stakes keep kind of rising. It's like, okay, I'm here, and oh wow, this guy who told me to come over, he's like not really this guy that I thought he was. And then it pretty quickly goes, and in fact, he's related to this biotech company. And in fact, he's always been in love with me. And in fact, he cloned me. And I really like it.
It certainly escalates.
Like it keeps escalating, and like,
but it's a slow escalation. It's like, this should be shocking, not like, oh yeah.
Well, the thing is that you're basically raising this clone to be your daughter, so he sees you as a dad, and all of a sudden this other kid comes around, and then she possibly falls for this kid, and not the dad who's kind of grooming you to be the next wife, and finds that, and that could upset him. But then again, he could clone himself as a younger person of him, put his memory into that person, and like try to like relive his life through that.
My point is just when the thing that you're raising the stakes on is that this reality is not real. Like, I'm a bit reminded of like that there was like an Old Spice commercial of something of, you think this is real? I you know, and like you see, it starts to become a comedy when, oh, you thought you were that, really it's that guy over there who's
and then he
and
turns
by the
into
way,
It's around
Yeah.
diamonds.
yeah, tickets that and like it's when in the Matrix, the thing is there's one alternate reality that he, you know, eventually has to kind of come to terms with. But then later on in that movie, or a couple of minutes later, he's like, oh, and by the way, yeah, the computers made up this stuff too. And then we start screwing with the world again, and now we have to get used to that. Like, I think you lose the audience, and the audience
too many
kind of
twists. Yeah.
yeah, there's too many
Too many twists that don't go anywhere, and that's where the stakes come from. And I know the way I see it, there's a couple things. I just want to say one thing. That treatment needs to be written better. It's confusing a little bit the way it's written, and note that by how much difficulty you had in reading it. There's a lot of very long sentences that could be split up and make it a little. The result will be a little more punchy, and I think a little more driven in the story. But what I would see with this in a conflict, the one thing I have trouble with like superheroes or people who have superpowers, super genius and stuff, is how it's never quite there when you need it. You know, like the guy has superpowers, but he always ends up picking up a lamp and hitting the guy over the head, or picking up a gun and shooting a gun or something. It's like, well, what the fuck happened to your superpowers? And you know, that always, I always feel a little bit ripped off that the superpowers aren't deployed like immediately. What I'd love to see is this guy, similar to what John said, but he keeps trying to create the person with this genius method that he has of doing it, but it just keeps failing. And what would give it a creepy thing is that he gets these mutant forms of the person, and that creates a scary part of it and stuff, rather than that we have to understand that it's very similar, and then we find out it's not quite right, and then we find out it's not quite right, that kind of thing. I want to see it like it's he can't do it, and then he can, and then it's there. Then he has the conflict between reality and the mock reality that he's created. That's more of an existential crisis that the guy has to deal with. Do I want the real thing, or do I want this other thing? Is the other thing slightly different? Now, this requires some skilled writing and brilliant acting and direction to be able to pull that off, because it's a subtle difference, but it needs to be palpable. So I'm not sure how you could get there, but clean up the writing a little bit further. I think there's something there. I do.
Yeah. All right.
And it looks like we lost William, so
we
can't
lost.
ask him
I
his-
was going to specifically solicit William's opinion. Oh well. Here we are.
Maybe he'll come back.
Maybe he'll come back. Certainly. Well, thanks for coming on the show. And hope you got something out of it. All right.
Hope he comes back.
Hope you come back. Keep coming back.
Yeah.
Just like this.
Don't let us scare you off. We're really nice. We really are.
Yeah. All right. I spoke briefly with Avery today. It's always great when I get to talk to my daughter, and she had a few things to say.
Oh no.
One was, I don't know that anyone at the end of Frontier Crucible is going to go, that movie was great. I can't wait to watch it again. It needs zombies. I'm like, yeah, you know what? You're right. I can't imagine anyone ever saying that. This movie needs zombies. So I don't know that it's really a Frontier Crucible sequel. It's not.
Well, again, that was a conversation that we had.
Yeah.
And I said, we'll play with it. And
So I was a really big fan of weird westerns, the DC comic run with like Jonah Hex, and in particular, where you had like it's basically like Weird Tales, but except they're in. Okay.
Are you on the? I mean, you're welcome to come on if you want to give notes on the treatment we just did on I Was a Teenage Clone. Yeah. Or if you want to give notes on Zombies on a Train. Yeah, the link's right down there in the description. Go ahead, you were saying.
Where was I?
We're talking about weird westerns.
Weird westerns.
Yes.
So generally, it's just westerns with paranormal and magic and undead.
Yeah.
Weird things happening. Just similar. It's kind of almost Lovecraftian, vampires, zombies.
Yeah.
And I was showing Preston like, hey, here's a guy like I used to love reading is Jonah Hex, and that was one of the main characters in the weird westerns that came out in DC. He even had his own title series, and once in a while he would go against the undead and zombies and vampires, weird stuff. He went to space at one point, which was really odd. Which is really odd. Like this old Western guy with a Confederate like jacket on and a scarred face going up in space and shooting ray guns. It was really weird.
By the way, I
John
talked
Carter.
What? It was a little John Carter, yeah, but it was odd. What was it?
I talked with Oscar Award winner Jefferson Dawn today.
Yeah, Jeff Dawn.
Jeff Dawn. He asked me, "Who's John Lamont?"
Oh.
And then he said, "I went to IMDb. I looked up John Lamont. There's 14 of them."
There's 14 of
I'm
them.
like, he's the one who has Poker Night as a movie credit. And he's like, "What's Poker Night?" I'm like, "That was a video that was shot in my front yard."
It is, and it remains as of current. It is one of the better shorts that I have produced.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, that's
not
the guy.
saying much,
I tapped him to write this script. And Poker Night was pretty awesome. You're gonna love it.
Poker Night didn't have a script.
It did not.
You know,
we were 12 actors with a single prompt, and that was basically it.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. So knowing that it's not going to be a Frontier Crucible sequel, then I will start actually developing a main character. Sounds because good. I kind of wrote him as a bit of a blank template.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't sure what we were going to do with that. I will give him a real name.
Alien was largely written with characters who were, kind of template-y and, took
archetypes.
Shape. Yeah.
They were archetypes.
Kind of took shape in the face of the action.
Yeah, this is a blue-collar worker. This is the captain. Here's the science officer. Here's the doctor. Here's the engineer.
I mean, they certainly have personalities. Captain Dallas, you can tell, like, he's stressed. He really doesn't. He wants this job to be done.
He wants to go back home.
Yeah, he's not a guy that's going to read you regulations. He's just kind of a beaten man.
Yeah, and he's just kind of like beaten down by the system.
Yeah,
I'm here in space. I've been here for like how many years, decades.
Yeah,
I'm done. I just kind of want my money and go.
Yeah,
and then you have the workers who are the kind of like don't want to do the work.
Yeah,
and they're just like giving you a couple hours when they can just fix it in 15 minutes. They can literally fix it in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And they're just bullshitting you the entire time because they're, running the clock so they can get paid.
But enough about Alien. Now we got zombies. All right. Who wants to narrate? I'll narrate.
Okay.
Exterior. Tennessee Village day. A dozen wattled and daubed cabins circle an extinguished fire pit in a small clearing of a Dakota woodland. Taomi, 14 to 16, daughter. Okay. Miles, by the way, is very excited. Zombies on a train. To which Jeff Dawn said Miles is excited about anything he thinks he can be in.
Yes.
Yeah. I was like,
which
yes,
includes like a really weird script he gave us where we were just like, no.
Yeah. But Miles was like, you know what? Maybe you could make her older and be like a romantic thing. And then I'm like, Miles, you don't got to put your arms around everybody. But anyway.
It's Miles.
It is Miles. Yeah. So a note from Miles, maybe she could be older and romantic. But yeah, 14 to 16, daughter of the tribe shaman.
Jeez, man.
I know. And I'm like, slim it down. Slim it down.
Slim it down, my friend.
And a handful of other girls her age speak and laugh between each other as they carry baskets out into the woods. Exterior Tanahi Village surround woodlands day. Taomi and the other girls pick herbs and berries. Why don't you be girl one? Speak in Lakota, by the way.
I'll try. What's up, B? Make you sure. Make you sure. Pick a few extra berries. Make you sure.
It's a John Lamont script. Let's go with it.
It's the first draft.
Okay. Make you sure. Pick a few extra berries in case Taiomi drops her basket again.
You're right. Chaska did join the hunting party again. You know he always charges after the biggest buffalo.
I tripped okay. It has nothing to do with.
The second girl stares off into the distance.
Chaska, is that you?
The girl feigns fainting before dramatically falling to the ground, causing the other girls to laugh.
Oh, I lost my breath. I feel I might die. Would you give me yours, Chaska? Oh, Chaska.
The first girl walks up to her.
Okay, I think you've done enough. Come, we must finish while we still have daylight.
The second Tanahi girl stands, brushing the dirt off her clothes, notices Taiomi is no longer with the group.
Taiomi, oh, Taiomi, come on. It was all in fun.
Exterior edge of the woodlands day. Taiomi exits the woodlands overlooking the prairie. It's peaceful and quiet. She closes her eyes, taking a deep breath. Screech! Taiomi opens her eyes, looking to the distance at the source of the sound. Over the horizon, the puff of black smoke rises. The ground shakes. Raking through the distant haze, Iron Bull, a symbol of America's imperialism, encroaches across the west, charges forward, pulling several cars behind it. Interior Iron Bull dining car 9. Night. John Smith, 40s.
Really?
What?
John Smith?
John Smith.
I told you he was a template.
Okay.
Well, I mean, but for that matter, John Smith is also a historical figure.
Yes, I
Yes.
know. This
Yeah.
is not it, though.
Yeah.
Go ahead, keep going.
No,
keep going.
I picked an intentionally
There's a
generic name.
Okay.
Well, but I would say it's not a generic name. Like there's a John Smith that's related to Pocahontas.
Pocahontas, right?
Yeah,
So,
I know.
yeah.
That's why I was just
Yeah,
like,
so
John
John-
Smith.
Anyway, as I said, since we're not doing a sequel, I'm going to come up with a name for him.
Yeah,
All
awesome.
right.
So,
And I just want to say I'm fine with it being John Smith.
Mm. Keep going.
What, we're canceling John
No.
Smith?
No. You just
Okay.
keep going. It's just like that's.
I mean, he did bad things to Pocahontas, so I'm told. I don't know. Didn't he like bring her back to
Let's
England?
not go there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not good
All
there.
right.
This is not Me Too.
All right. John Smith. All right. Noticing Smith's glass nearly empty, the bartender approaches, pouring him a second.
I'll do bartender. You stopping at Mineral City or you just passing through?
I
John?
don't rightly know yet.
I hear there's still some good prospecting to be had up there in them hills. Just got to watch out for them old Indians.
I'll keep that in mind.
The dining car's door bursts out as Lieutenant Jamie Harper, late 20s, Sergeant Ezra Pike, mid-late 20s, and a half a dozen other U.S. Army soldiers burst in.
I'll do Harper. Barkeep, 8 ryes for me and the boys, and 1 for yourself.
Harper places a silver dollar on the counter.
Thank you, young man.
The bartender pours out 9 shots of rye whiskey. Harper raises his shot.
To the wild frontier and those of us with the stones to tame it.
Here!
Here.
They toast and take their shot. Harper notices Smith did not join them in the toast.
And what about you, stranger?
I'm just here to enjoy the ride and wherever it leads.
Pike approaches the bar between Smith and Harper.
Is that me?
I don't know.
Well.
I'm already 3 characters. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
like you
I'm
said,
planning
yeah.
to enjoy the ride between the legs of a nice young squaw.
Pike's snide comment bothers Harper, but Harper holds his tongue. Pike slams down a dime on the bar.
1 more for me, barkeep.
The bartender pours him a second shot. Pike downs it in 1 gulp.
Lighten up, Harper. What your woman doesn't know won't hurt her. What your woman doesn't know won't hurt her. Am I right, old man?
Smith ignores his comment, stares forward. Pike clicks his tongue at Smith, stepping away from the bar. Smith stands dropping a dime on the counter.
Thanks for your company.
Thank you, sir.
As he passes Harper to the exit.
Guard your heart, son. This war isn't worth losing your soul over.
As Smith reaches the end of the dining car, the door towards the passenger car opens. Colonel J. Abrams, 40s and 50s, enters. A tall, towering, and imposing figure like the tank. He's solid, fierce, resolute, a force to be reckoned with. Abrams makes eye contact with Smith, staring at him with sharp, piercing eyes. Smears holds his gaze for a moment. They are 2 sides of the same coin, men with similar past, whose choices led to a starkly divergent path. Smith turns away from the first, exiting the dining coach. Yeah. Exterior, Mineral City, South Dakota train station day. Iron Bull sits by the train platform. Harper and Pike exit passenger car 6 as several soldiers carry out larger cases.
Line them up over there until Colonel secures our lodgings.
Carrying a duffel, Smith disembarks with a group other passengers. Several hired boys, 14, 15, approach the passengers offering their services.
You two, my trunk's in car 7, right-hand side. Name John Smith. Can't miss it.
He hands them a copper each.
Penny now, bring it to the inn unscuffed. Penny later. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The two scamper off into the train car. Exterior, Mineral City, South Dakota, Main Street day. The town is not unlike the many others Smith has visited in his wilderness trek. Good to know. Exterior, Mineral City, interior continued. A working girl, Mary Beth, greets Smith as he steps up the porch.
Looking for some company, sweetie?
Not right now, ma'am.
Smith tips his hat, entering the inn. Interior, Mineral City Inn day. The tavern inn is mostly empty for the time of day. The town drink snoozes in a corner. A few locals play poker with one of the working girls who does more flirting than playing. A traveling salesman chats up another girl. Can't tell who is actually selling to who. Smith enters the inn, approaching the bar. The innkeeper places the glass he was wiping down in front of him.
Bourbon, neat, and a room for the night.
Smith places a silver dollar on the bar.
Open a tab, would you?
Planning to stay a while?
Couple days. We'll see how the winds blow.
The hired boys entering carry Smith's trunk.
Where
Where
you
you
want it, sir?
Room
Room
no.
4, up the stairs on the left.
The two boys carry the steamer trunk up the stairs. Mary Beth enters, approaching the bar.
Looks like those soldier boys the sheriff called for arrived.
Stay out of this, Mary Beth. Not our problem.
I just feel sorry for those poor Indians.
I said, not our problem.
Mary Beth walks back to the window, looks out.
Is there a problem with the local tribe?
Nothing a fine gentleman like yourself need to worry about.
Mary Beth stares out the window, watching Abrams walk across the town to the sheriff's office. Interior, Mineral City Sheriff's Office day. The local sheriff rolls out an area map before Abrams. Across the table at the center is Mineral City, its outskirts, woods. The sheriff points. For some reason, I mean, is this intentional?
2 Fs.
Should there be
It's
2?
2
I
Fs.
think there should be 2 Fs.
My
Well, he
spell
has it
checker
somewhere.
kept telling me it was supposed to be 1.
Nope. It's
So-
3.
Oh,
No,
there-
it's
think
two
it's
Fs.
two.
It's 2 Fs.
Yeah,
It's a sheriff.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I typed it with 1 F, and my spell checker gave me that squiggly red line.
I
And
think
made me
that's
change it.
Sharif. I believe this is Sharif.
You know, Sharif. So it's an Arab sheriff.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Okay.
All right. No, I'll fix that.
I'll do it. Right
That-
here, Colonel. That's where them damn Tahani have been camping out.
How many of them?
Oh, maybe 2, 3 dozen or so. But we only see maybe 6 or 9 coming through the town at a time.
They rough anyone up?
One of the Indian boys got into a fight with Father Beckley's boy. Gave him a black eye.
Abrams grunts to himself, thinking.
Colonel, can't you soldier boys just do what you did over at Bear River so us good Christian folk can live in peace?
Enter Mineral City Town Center day. Pike organize the sleeping bags along the town center's hall while Harper performs a weapons check on the Springfield 1873s laid out on the table. Abram enters. All the men stand at attention.
Harper, weapons check.
That's me. That's me. That's me.
Okay, good.
Harper, weapons check.
All rifles in proper working order, sir.
Good. Get some rest. We go hunting at sundown.
Pike smiles. This is going to be fun. Exterior Tanahee Village Center night. As the center bonfire rages, the tribal elders sit in the center circle. A male elder beats a drum, leading the rest of the elders to shake rattles and bones and chimes and bone chimes in rhythm. A few of the younger tribal members begin to play bone flutes. One of the elders sings the Tanahee theme song. Taomi sits with the other girls in one of the outer circles, embracing the peaceful tones. In her hands, her own bone flute. She doesn't play, but her fingers follow along as if practicing for when her time comes. One of the girls bumps her shoulder, getting her attention, points to a group of boys their age sitting in the opposite side staring at them. Taomi locks eyes with one of the boys. He blushes, turning away. The girls giggle. Exterior Tanahi village, surround woodlands. Night. Abrams leads his soldiers through the woods. The burning fire and Tanahi theme song grow larger and louder as they approach. Abrams raises a fist. The men halt. He signals for them to span out.
Sir, don't appear aggressive. Perhaps we can talk to them, convince them to move on their own.
Don't look now, Colonel. I think we have a petticoat in our midst. That's so. Oh, I'm still Abrams. That's so. Well, Milksop, you go talk to them filthy savages and see if they understand reason.
Harper swallows hard, shouldering his rifle. He stands up, straightens his uniform, steps out of the woods into the Tanahi village. Abrams turns to Pike.
Hold, men.
Go ahead.
I don't know you keep trying to take my line. Hold, men. When the lead starts flying, send them all to hell.
Although, that is lead.
That's lead. Lead. It's also lead.
Yeah,
so
Abrams and
blame English.
Yeah, English.
Abrams and Pike step out of the woods. The other soldiers stay hidden in the darkness, moving around the outskirts. Rifles at the ready. Exterior Tanahi village center. Night. The village elder abruptly stops singing. The music dies. All eyes fall on Harper as he stands in their midst, hands open, rifle slung over his shoulder. Abrams and Spike stand to either side, their rifles at the ready. They stare at the villagers with menacing contempt.
I'm Lieutenant James Harper, United States Army, 3rd Dakota Infantry, B Company.
The Tanahi villagers all stare at him with blank expressions.
You don't speak English.
The shaman steps forward. Taomi grabs his arm, but he shakes her off and waves her to stand back.
Good evening. What brings you to our quiet village?
Harper looks back to Abrams, smiles, regains confidence. Abrams glares back.
Yes, sir. We are here because the local townsfolk have complained of aggression from nearby Indian villages.
Sometimes we go to trade, only trade, then we leave. We do not stay long.
Pike walks past Harper, approaching the group.
Tell him about the fight.
Oh, that was me. There are just boys. Boys fight. No true harm came of them. I made sure.
Pike eyes Taomi, eyes full of fear, sitting nearby. The shaman watches Pike, staring at his daughter.
Please, we no want fight. We want no fight. For many years, we lived peacefully with the ranchers.
It's a Zippo raid. They're going to burn the village.
Is it what?
Zippo raid.
What's that? Like
You're not really Vietnamese.
Is that like the little? Oh, okay,
The cigarette lighter.
The cigarette lighter, Zippo. Yeah.
Yeah, they would send in a squad because your people they lived in little grass huts.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would. Okay.
Not all of them did, but yeah, I lived in my family lived in the city. Okay.
All right.
So
all right.
Racist bastard.
Really? Don't let him get away with that shit, man.
As my mom says, we are not jungle people.
Oh, did you ever see what was that the comedian?
Dude, I showed
Asian
my mom
comedian?
that because
Yeah.
after you
yeah.
told me,
Yeah.
after you told me that,
you got to see her mom got offended. You're like, we are not jungle Asians.
why are we jungle Asians? My
Oh,
mom
man.
got so mad.
I want jungle agent zombies. That's what I want. Jungle
Oh my
Asian
gosh.
zombies.
Yeah, it's like there's like the city.
Yeah,
Asians,
no,
and there's
I love that.
Asians.
I love her. I keep blanking on her name right now.
Ali Wong.
Yes,
Ali
Ali Wong. Yes,
Yeah,
love
after
her.
you told me about her comedy, I went to go watch it,
Yeah.
and I showed my mom while I was watching it, and
Yeah.
she was just like so offended.
Yeah.
So and it's like it's a complete. See, I thought it was funny. She is from a completely different generation where that is very bad to say. So
Joe Coy has a similar one too, because he's Filipino.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
he has a lot of jokes too about being raised. He's first generation Filipino.
Pike steps closer to Taomi. One of the young men steps backward slowly from the center, disappearing into a nearby hut. Interior Tenhi village hut continued. The young man grabs a rifle from its place on the wall and a nearby patch box. Quickly, he loads the Hall North percussion cap rifle. Exterior Tanahi village center continued. Pike stands next to Taomi, towering over her small frame as she sits staring up at him, fighting back the fear in her eyes.
You are
You-
quite beautiful.
Oh, go ahead.
You want to do everybody?
No, I ended up doing Pike because he was doing the other guy. So go ahead, do Pike.
You are quite beautiful for a squall. Have you ever been touched by a real man?
Ew.
Taomi pushes his hand away, but Pike forcibly grabs her wrist.
Oh, this one's got a little bite.
Please, we will stay out of town. Never go back.
Abram steps forward, brushing past Harper and taking command.
Not good enough, old man. We've got orders from Washington to make your village disappear.
All right, John Lamont, that is how it is done. 10 pages. We got a conflict. I'm really emotionally invested in this. I'm like, oh my God, they got to burn the village. Those poor Native American guys. Yeah, it's. I think this is your best writing, John. I think
Yeah,
I like it.
I so far I'm liking the characters, and you have bad guys, good guys. You got a conflict. You have a guy who's trying his best. Also, the shaman is trying his best not to cause a war and cause a fight. And he's just like, we're here peacefully, but people are just not letting it. He's being bullied.
Yeah.
And the thing is that, of course, if he does anything, he's going to get blamed.
There you go. Robert.
Yeah, it's it moves, and the characters actually, by what they say, they're fairly well defined in terms of what it is, and the challenges are kind of thrown out in almost every dialogue exchange, and it's the thrust and parry. They have to overcome something by what's been said. They have to make a statement, so that I feel that each character is trying to, I need you to tell me more so I know just who you are. And so that kind of confrontational thing, where in that time period, they're very dependent on knowing who the other person is, if they can depend on them, or if they have to treat them like that they might be an enemy. So there's always that kind of challenge that's being thrown down, the gauntlet, if you will. So that was effective.
I don't know that I have a ton of constructive notes for the start of our story. I think it's pretty good, but I'm sure you maybe have some. If Danny were here, he'd have a ton. But
yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I know. You got off easy this week. What do you think, Diane?
Constructive wise?
Yeah.
I think it could move a little quicker.
Really?
But the thing is that I like the pace that it is at. I mean, maybe you can just shave off like a line or two, but really that's about it.
Okay.
And I'm just looking at it going like, I'm trying to figure out where the train's going to go in. But right now they're doing all the setup for it, but we have everything that we kind of need. And I can see like a fight is going to happen. A shaman is here. We're going to have a conflict, and he's going to end up cursing everybody. I can see it happening. Like,
you can already see the zombies tearing at the flesh.
Yeah. So
nothing worse than a motivated zombie. I gotta tell you.
A motivating zombie that will curse all the other ones.
Yeah.
We won't go to. Yeah. But I'm excited.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Robert, do you have any constructives?
Yeah, I do. I think, and this is becoming something I'm familiar with the way John writes. He has a lot of characters, and
he does.
I'm not a huge fan of that. They are distinct, which is good, but it's hard to keep track of what's going on. Visually, you could do that if they looked really different, but they all seem to have a similar kind of conversation. I'm wondering if you could cut the number of characters like in half and get the same thing said and the same setups. Have some of the characters carry a little more weight in doing those setups, and it'd be a little cleaner for somebody to absorb what's going on. Also, to start to distinguish who's good and who's bad, because it's not super clear until that last part where he's, where they're kind of challenging the guy who says, well, maybe we should just approach him and see what we can do. Then it becomes clear that there's conflict on how this is going to get resolved. So that would be my one thing. But I think, I haven't seen the other films, so I can't really give it a perspective. If it's supposed to be close, but is it set up for zombie
No,
things?
apparently it is not going to be a sequel. That was
Okay.
already decided.
All right. So
So
then,
that
To answer your
means
question, no. Frontier
Yeah.
Crucible does not set up for zombies.
No.
okay, then this
It is
needs
a
to
very
ratchet up
realistic
what
world.
motivates them to become zombies, or
Yeah.
what causes them to become zombies. Like, have the soldiers picked up a disease that makes them, makes other people zombies?
No, the shamans.
He's the magic zombies.
Yeah,
magic
the
zombies.
shaman's magic.
So there is a
It's John's story. John, explain it. Go ahead.
okay, so the way it currently works is that the shaman is going to cast a protection spell over his daughter, but he is killed midway, so it's an incomplete protection spell. And basically it causes, instead of ancient spiritual warriors to rise up and protect her, it causes mindless zombies to rise up and go apeshit.
Where do they come from? The ground, or
Yeah.
out of the huts, or out of the
The
ground?
dead.
Or they could be the reanimated, recently deceased.
yeah.
Yes.
And it sounds like
They're-
there's about to be some recently deceased.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, there's going to be the reanimated recently.
So they're killed and they re-rise, right? Like within minutes or so. That's scary.
So I'm also looking at doing a partial infection thing where some people are bitten and then they get turned.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Because
I think
That's
soldiers
going to
used to-
happen later.
the tuberculosis blankets
Yeah.
and stuff like that, it turns them into zombies instead.
I mean, it doesn't need to be like all the Native American war crime
No.
atrocity tropes in one
Well,
film.
the
Yeah.
thing is,
I'm also trying to keep this fictional because I want to be respectful,
Okay.
while at the
Yeah.
same time walking this line, because there really is no
So far, you've got it nailed. Like, white men are bad.
Not all
Correct.
white men. I did try to
Okay,
show
what did
that
you say,
there's a
John?
bit of nuance there.
Okay.
what did you say, John, about like
There's one guy who's
Americans, they have what?
nuanced, just one.
Yeah.
Well, there's two. There's our main character and there's Harper. Harper's more conflicted. He's a little wishy-washy. And then our main character, Smith.
Well, there's a story arc, right? There's this character arc.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
He's
that
wishy-washy.
is
Which way does
that
he
is-
wish, or does he wash?
Yeah.
exactly.
So, yeah.
So
Okay, so you were saying something that you said something like, were you researching Native American stuff?
yeah, so they don't. So again, this is a loosely inspired from my Angel of Darkness story.
Okay.
Where Angel of Darkness was based on a fictionalized variant of voodoo.
Okay.
Native Americans don't really have a variation of voodoo, so I kind of had to tweak some of that a little bit. So that's kind of why we're using a bit more of like spiritual magic, and they are possessed by the spirits of like ancient warriors that have passed, but there's something wrong with them because the shaman died before he completed his spell.
Okay.
Or his protection spell.
I like it. There is
yeah.
a thing called like skinwalkers.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just want to say, like, Diane and I have been talking about this a bit. I quite frankly, I'd be okay if we ended up not at zombies, if they were like Wendigos or werewolves or something.
I love Wendigos.
Um,
I love Wendigos.
but and like each has their own lore.
Yeah.
If they're gonna be zombies, then the infection needs to be a factor.
yeah.
Like, it needs to be you got bit and you're gonna turn. That's how zombies work. I feel. And
Yeah.
the
Well,
mind-
I mean,
Okay.
like, because that and
and because it gives you that element where now people become very hard. And people are like, you got bit, we have to, or you might have gotten bit, or people become increasingly paranoid about
Yeah.
who might turn.
Well,
And
that's it. You got to vaccinate him with a bullet.
Right. Yeah. And you don't see that in like the werewolf stories. Well, I mean, I guess you do a bit actually.
Silver bullet. Yeah.
Yeah. But like turning into a werewolf is like a long, slow process. Whereas zombies, as Train to Busan, it's like 30 seconds. They
It was
got
like-
bit.
They're like not even 30 seconds. Like
Yeah.
it's such an instantaneous. So
Yeah.
Well, that's the recent
generally-
dead thing you said is great. The guy shoots him and then he
generally don't
zaps
like-
into a
yeah.
zombie.
Yeah, I generally don't like fast zombies, but like the one exception is actually Train to Busan because it's treated because they just show like it's like your entire body's on fire.
Yeah.
It is in a rage, and they just go mad. They go feral instantaneously in the minute that you get when you're alive. It takes only like what, a minute, 2 minutes maybe
For what?
for them to turn when they're alive. If they just got bit, if they're
Yeah.
killed, they're
Yes.
almost instantaneous.
Yeah.
They instantaneously like get up, and it was just like So, but
Yeah, I have a little bit of that. I have a little bit of both, actually.
Yeah,
So
because they're because
There's that moment in Train to Busan where like they don't, and you see this in a lot of zombie pictures where one group of survivors like will actually become a barrier to another group of survivors because they're like, we think you might have been infected,
well
there's the human versus human,
Tribal.
which a lot of
Yeah,
zombie
becomes
stories
tribal.
really degenerate down to.
Well, because really, like, are the zombies really the monsters or just people in general? And it's always like the worst thing in zombie films are usually just humans,
Right? And we're
like,
already off to a good start with that.
Yeah,
with this
and
opening,
like with
so that's great.
like Walking Dead is a prime example of that. It's like, yeah, zombies are a thing, but man, you need to watch out for the living.
Yeah.
The living are the terrible people.
Yes.
So
we definitely need plenty of that if we're gonna go with zombies. So far, I like it. Good job, John. All right, Robert. I see Roadside Diner and the Carnival of Souls.
ooh.
I also see Caught Red-Handed.
Okay, let me explain this. I was I visited my sisters up in Northern California, and I drove some back roads.
Okay.
And in driving the back roads, I stopped by this little roadside diner and met some, or witnessed some, just unusual people, or very distinct character people. So I jotted it down literally on a napkin, and then wrote it up as a small short story. And then after I put it into Word and looked at it and stuff like this, I thought I can make another story out of this, and it's going to end up being the cold open for another idea I have for a screenplay about an assassin. Anyway, that's why there's two parts of it. What I'd like to do is just read the 2-pager, which is the short story, and give you a sense of what I witnessed, and then you can see what I did when I went bananas on the actual story, which is the Red-Handed.
These two are related.
Yes.
All right,
You'll see it. Okay, pop it up. The Caught Red-Handed, the Carnival of Souls, which is a great film, by the way.
It is. So,
Let's see. Downloads. There you go.
bigger.
Okay, here we go. Roadside Diner and the Carnival of Souls. Please wait to be seated, read the sign. The lone waiter shouted from the far end of the diner. Anywhere you like. Instinct suggested the furthest possible table, but hunger drove me to the booth closest to the wait station. My phone, charging in the motel room, left me to my thoughts and observations. One waiter, 5 covers, one chef named Luis. Black family, dad and a young son. Grandma will be here soon. Waiter hustles over to my table. You ready to order? Plain omelet, hash browns, well done. Meat? No meat. No sausage? No bacon? No meat. Hash browns, well done. Bread? White or wheat? No bread. He takes the menu and drops it on the table across the aisle. Across the aisle, hillbillies best describe him. In a foul mood, I'd call him trailer trash, just white trash. The older one, Mom, I think, uses her cane to leverage her belly out from the booth. She walks over to an elderly man sitting with his daughter and 2 grandchildren, girl and a boy, 12 and 8, I figure. Hey, Gino. He doesn't look up, just mumbles, hey, Carla. This your family? Hi, I'm Carla. I have the double wide next to your dad. The daughter says, hi, turns to the kids, say hi. Both, hi. Grandma enters. Andre, why are you sitting in the sun? You know I can't take the sun. Two white ladies in their 50s glance over. Let's just go. The blonde waves for the waiter. He's in the kitchen arguing with Luis. Sherry ain't coming in. Luis says nothing. Waiter looks over to the white ladies. The blonde wiggles her hand like she's signing a check. They meet at the register. An ice cream sundae appears on the pass-through. The waiter grabs it with one hand and delivers it to the young girl with big hair sitting at the counter. Shoulders hunched, she takes tiny bites from the whipped cream. Head swiveling side to side, she watches the lady pay her bill, then switches to watching the hillbillies accuse each other of being mad, ungrateful, mean. What did I do this time? The younger one is silent, does not look up, no reaction. The blonde suddenly yells, "Where's my wallet?" She looks at the black family. The son looks up, not smiling. Her friend says, "I have it. You left it at the register." They hurry out the door. The girl at the counter tries to be invisible, but still glancing quickly. Beeping from the front door is on a little too long. Two men enter, stop at the sign, wait to be seated. Luis shouts from the kitchen, "Sit anywhere." They go to the farthest end of the diner. One wears large black rimmed glasses, East Coast, I think, portly and balding, in a tan sport coat, white shirt, no tie, matching slacks, and black shoes, signals for the other to come in. The other is in a wife-beater t-shirt with a leather vest. Chains swing from his hip and disappear in his back pocket. He has multiple large rings and a silver tooth. He glares at each customer. There is a slight pause in his gait as he passes my table. I smile and nod. He is stone-faced, then continues with his companion. It was his Harley that rattled the windows, I'm sure. The waiter reaches over to the wait station and loudly drops the plate with my omelet. Ketchup is right there. I'll bring a setup. You want extra napkins? I nod. Water, no ice. Best omelet ever. Hot, 3 eggs, crispy hash browns. Thanks, Luis. I'll remember this roadside diner. So I took that.
Okay.
And if you open up the other one, I
Sure.
turned it in to my fantasy.
All right. I had a thought, by the way.
Okay, go ahead.
You know, I feel like the U.S. Army was not too much in the go wipe that village off the map business. They were trying to get them onto reservations and stuff. And wouldn't it be better if this was maybe like a local effort of like a palm ground kind of thing? I like the idea of locals.
The locals?
Yeah, like the locals. The locals are sick of those people over there.
Generally, that is what they
Pitchforks
did.
and shotguns.
Yeah,
Generally-
like pitchforks and shotguns.
Generally, that is what they did. And
Yeah.
if they caused a riot or a
You're
war,
right.
that's when the army came in.
Right.
So it's like you wouldn't want the army coming your way, do you?
Right.
So
So
because then more people will die.
right.
So
I think I like the story better if it's not
I mean that
if
is
it's not the U.S. Army. Anyway, all right.
I'll play with it.
Go ahead. Okay. Yes. Good.
like a program. Yeah.
Yeah. Look up program. That'd be good. All right. So Rhodes. Oh, caught red-handed. Is what I
Well,
need.
since I don't need to worry about who our main character is and was before this story started,
Yeah.
that opened up some avenues for me.
There you go. Oh, caught red-handed is right there.
So
Okay.
You know what? I'm going to give you a little history lesson on it. I don't know if you've ever seen the film Oxbow Incident.
No.
It's a Western.
Okay.
And there's a scene in it in the bar where these guys are these Western guys, these not villagers, but small townspeople are talking about going and getting vengeance against these wayward travelers. If I were you, I'd try to look that up and find it and see if you can see it. It's a great film. It's one of the great films
What's it called
ever
again?
made.
The Oxbow Incident.
Yeah.
Oh man, I haven't seen that in years.
There you go.
It's good. Okay. So you assign everybody, Preston.
All right.
I'll
Do
do
you
my
wanna-
part.
And that's what Henry Fonda. Yeah.
I guess, John, why don't you narrate?
all right, black screen, sound, Muzak version of Bee Gees. I'll repeat my comment from earlier. Do you got
There you go.
license rights?
I'm aware of it.
You Make Me Feel Like Dancing plays at low volume. Cut 2. Interior roadside diner day. Please wait to be seated reads on the sign. The lone waiter, age 25, shouts from the far end of the diner.
Anywhere you like.
gestures with one hand. The other holds a towel. Jack, age 30, heads to the booth closest to the wait station. Pat fronts pockets of his jeans, then back pockets.
Damn, still charging in the room?
Jack glances around the diner. One waiter, 11, covers. One cook, badge says Luis, black family Andre, 40s, sits in a booth with his son. And I remind Robert about how much he complains about having too many characters being introduced, and we're still on page 1. Interior booth with black family, same.
Grandma will be here soon.
Interior Jack's booth, same. Waiter hustles over to Jack.
You ready to order?
Oh, plain omelet. Hash browns, well done.
Meat?
No meat.
No sausage, no bacon?
No meat. Hash browns, well done.
Bread? White or wheat?
No bread.
You're a freak.
I want a whole chicken and some white bread.
I want all your eggs and bacon. Before you think I said a lot of eggs and bacon? No, I want all your eggs and bacon.
Waiter takes the menu and drops it on the table across the aisle. Interior, Carla and Charlene booth. Day. So we're inside the booth now? Carla and Charlene wear trailer trash style clothing. Carla uses a cane to leverage her belly out from under the booth. She waddles over to an elderly man sitting with daughter and 2 grandchildren, grandchild 1 and grandchild 2.
Hey, Gino.
Gino, 70, doesn't look up.
Hey, Carla.
This your family? Hi, I'm Carla. I have the double wide across from your dad. Move in the first of the month.
Hi.
Turns to kids.
Say hi.
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 The roar of the highway announces grandma's 60 entrance through the front door. Dressed in scrubs, she marches down the aisle, passing a booth with 2 white ladies, Karen 1 and Karen 2.
Oh boy.
They
Oh,
stare
boy.
at grandma as she passes.
Andre, why are you sitting in the sun? You know I can't take the sun.
The Karen 2 to the Karen 1 under her breath.
Let's just go.
Karen 1 waits for the waiter. Interior kitchen, same. In the kitchen, the waiter argues with Luis.
LaDonna ain't coming in.
Luis responds with an annoyed look, shaking his head, says nothing. Waiter looks over to the white ladies. Karen 1 wiggles her hand like she's signing a check. Interior front quarter, same. They meet at the register. An ice cream sundae appears on the pass-through. Waiter grabs it, then in the single motion slides it to the goth girl 18, sitting 3 stools down from the counter. Shoulders hunched, she twists a strand of her hair with one hand and spoons tiny bites of whipped cream. Head swiveling side to side, she watches Karen 1 pay her bill, then switches to watching Carla and Charlene accuse each other of being mad, ungrateful, mean.
What did I do this time?
The windows rattle from the sound of the chopped hog pulling up to the front entrance. Charlene puts in her earpiece and texts while humming along with the music. Karen 1 suddenly yells,
Where's my wallet?
She looks at the black family. The son looks up, not smiling. Karen 2 quickly interjects,
I have it. You left it at the register.
They hurry out the door. Goth girl at the counter cowers, still glancing around quickly. Interior front entrance. Several moments later, the highway roar from the front door lingers a little too long. 2 men enter, stop at the sign, wait to be seated. Luis shouts from the kitchen.
Sit anywhere.
Businessman 50 wears large black rimmed glasses, portly and balding.
So many characters. God damn.
From the guy who complains about stories having too many characters.
15 characters already.
Portly and balding, his tan sport coat clashes with the mauve herringbone slacks and blue shoes. He looks around, signals the other to come in. They go to the farthest end of the diner. The biker 40s wears a wife beater t-shirt with a leather vest. Chains swing from his hip and end in black back pocket. He has multiple large rings in his hands, tattoo sleeves, and a silver tooth. Biker has a slight pause in his gait. As he passes Jack's booth, glares stone-faced, then continues with companion. The waiter reaches over the wait station and loudly drops the plate with Jack's omelet.
Ketchup is right there. I'll bring a setup. You want extra napkins?
Water, no ice.
Sound, the
This
music
guy's
This
switches.
asshole.
This guy's a freak, man. I need water, no ice.
The music switches to "Thank You for Being My Friend." Interior far end of the diner. A few moments later, the conversation between businessman and biker grows loud and agitated. Body language of the diners stiffen, indicating discomfort. No one looks around. Grandchild 1 and Grandchild 2 rise up slightly to see.
Sit.
They sit back down. Biker slams the tabletop. He lurches out of the booth and snarls.
Fuck you.
Aww.
Biker strides away from the booth and down the aisle. Businessman pulls out a revolver and shoots Biker in the back of the
Ow.
head. His face
Ow.
explodes. Businessman
That
rises
was your
slowly,
one.
That
starts to
escalated
leave.
suddenly.
Wow.
Lewis charges out of the kitchen with a knife. Businessman shoots him in the face at the
Ow.
register. Waiter
Jeez.
screams.
Take the money. Take the money.
Businessman shoots his gun at waiter.
I don't want your fucking money.
Carla pulls her Taurus Judge revolver and fires one .454 Castle round, severing the man's head with the gun from the businessman's arm. That's
Harsh.
one crack shot. People know you shoot for the center. Charlene pulls the lanyard with her badge over her head and approaches businessman, blood pulsing out of the severed wrist. Charlene, hands on her hips, turns to Carla.
How the hell am I supposed to cuff him?
Goth girl stands up from the counter stool. She is shaking and showing at least 8 months pregnant. Water pulls down her legs, pulling onto the floor at her feet.
Oh.
Grandma runs over shouting.
I'm a nurse. Move away.
Grandma gently helps Goth girl into a booth. Carla points to Biker and Lewis.
What about them?
I can see their brains all over the Bunomatic. No helping them, but I can save the baby.
Carla shows her arms up, throws her arms up.
Now you rest right here, girl. You're going to be fine.
Interior front entrance same. The SWAT team bursts through the front entrance, weapons drawn.
How do they know?
The captain, 35s. They're inside the front entrance, so I guess they're in the threshold of the door.
Okay.
The
Man.
Captain 35 announces.
Nobody called them.
I feel like this script could be entitled "That Escalated Quickly."
She was on her phone texting.
There you
if
go.
remember.
There you go. All right,
Yeah, they got there quick.
love
They
that
were
response.
waiting.
There we go. Fair enough. Okay. Everybody, stay put. Men, get a statement from all of them. No one leaves.
Captain walks over to Charlene and Carla, standing over businessman.
Will someone put a cork in this perp's arm? The floor is slippery. Someone could get hurt. Safety first.
A crime scene technician brings an evidence bag.
Bag the hand with the gun.
The technician uses large forceps to pick up the evidence.
Good job, ladies. You caught him red-handed. That'll put him in a slammer and keep him there.
Jack stares at his omelet. Biker's eyeball sits in the middle, staring up at him.
Excuse me, we're gonna need that eyeball.
Damn, the omelet was perfectly cooked. All right. It's funny.
It's cute.
It's cute. It's got some stuff. I mean, it's absurd violence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a farce.
Yeah. I mean,
That's it.
that's what makes it memorable. Honestly, and I'm thinking back, I don't remember too much about the who did the what.
Not even
Before like people started dying.
Yeah.
But I liked it when people started dying. I certainly took notice. I'm like, oh shit, I did not expect that.
Yeah, I just like
Businessman gangster.
man gangsta, like biker guy, fuck you, and it's like
Yeah,
boom,
bam, and
boom,
then,
and I was like, whoa.
and then we got the sharpshooter Charlene character from out of nowhere.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, everything happened very suddenly.
I got girl. I'm like, oh, that's
yeah,
cute. And
yeah.
Her water breaks in the middle of
Yeah.
the thing. I'm like, wait, what? What's going on?
So I mean, it's certainly memorable. A lot happened. So far, so good. Honestly, I don't see necessarily how. All right, well, I'm glad we took a diner and we killed people in it. There we go.
It's a lot of people in that
Well,
diner.
see, Robert was like, I wrote this short story about this cool diner I went to, and now I'm saying, what if everybody just engaged in a massive bloodbath?
Did that happen? I just wanted to ask.
And I survived. Yeah.
Were they that annoying?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Easily.
Diane, what do you think?
It certainly was a bustling diner. I did not expect these things to happen in this diner. So it's just like so a lot of characters, a lot of relationships, some of them thrown away. You had a lot of kids there. I kind of want to know what the reaction of the kids were when they saw this grotesque violence, because they just kind of disappeared. And beyond that, I would really have liked to know what the reaction was. Like, did the kids panic?
Yeah.
Did they scream? Did they hide under the table? I kind of wanted to know that. But good stuff going on. I liked how diverse everybody was. It definitely was a bustling diner. Now getting into criticism.
Go ahead.
Good. It's a shit ton of characters.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. We haven't gone to John yet.
Yeah, we haven't.
Let's go to John.
Let's go to John.
So for a short film, a lot of them need that hook at the end to make them kind of memorable and unique.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say this story has that hook.
Mm-hmm.
This is certainly a short film that if I were to watch this in a festival with dozens of other short films, this one has a high probability that I will remember it when I just got done spending the last 2 hours watching 12 different films.
That's actually kind of true.
How could it be made better, do you think, John?
Well, I not to cut in front of Diane, but definitely way too many freaking characters.
But it's a diner.
It's a diner. I kind of get it.
Yeah.
I kind of get it, but I was kind of like, my myth is that once the violence started happening, not everybody react. I wasn't sure who was reacting.
Again. So this is where it's like when I look at short films, and Preston, I'm sure I don't know if you think of them. I don't know if you think of short films the way you think of feature films, because I know you're a feature film producer, not a short film producer.
Right. I don't understand short films. There.
But short films are typically like low budget. Like you talk like $1 million for a feature, like they're like shoestring budget. Like
yes.
Not
like
all the time, but
I get 12 actors together, I feed you for the day, and you do this job, and you get IMDb credit. Hooray!
Poker night.
Yes. But actually, I don't think I fed anybody a poker night.
You didn't. Yes, I know.
Because I was paying everybody in Taft Hartley's. I wasn't paying them for food.
All right, there you go.
They were showing up to get a Taft Hartley. That was the only reason. It's like that was the whole purpose. Yeah. Anywho, my point is, when you have your short film, you don't have a lot of money. You've got a lot of actors that you either have to pay and or feed, and that's a lot of money. Because they're not going to show up unless you're doing one of those two, and a lot of times they expect both. And my concern would be you're doing a short film, that's where your money's going to go, and I just feel like there's too many characters for that. So I guess it's a bustling diner, but if you're going to do that many characters, and this might help with Diane's suggestion, is maybe have some of them leave. Like people come and go all the time. He shows up, stuff is happening, people leave. Other people come in. Like you have people coming and going. I don't really remember seeing anybody leaving. I only saw people coming. He comes in. But I know did the script ever say Karen 1 and Karen 2 left the diner?
Well, yeah,
I don't recall that.
I don't recall.
I don't recall that either. So
They,
as
they were
far as
about
I
to get a check, but they
Yeah.
didn't leave.
right, they were paying for their bill, but they never left. So
Yeah.
I never saw anybody leave this diner. I saw the fat lady talk to the dude. Why can't they leave the diner at the same, like, talk to the dude on their way out the door, and then they leave, and then you have different people. Like, I feel like if you're going to keep this many people because somehow your food budget's big enough to feed them all, then yeah, have them coming and going, and that way it looks more more active, and also it would help with your you know, when you're all the shit hits the fan at the end, you have more room to stage people, and you're not constantly trying to stage around all of these people. Oh, and that's the other thing. Your script, I would recommend using subheads, not all interior exterior. The whole damn
Absolutely.
thing is interior diner, and
Yeah,
then just tell me.
that's one location.
Boo-
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one
Yeah.
location, and then
Yeah.
we go to Karen's booth,
Yeah.
old person's booth,
Yeah.
this person's booth,
Subheader,
that
yeah.
person's booth.
Yeah.
Use subheads, all caps bold or all caps not bold, your preference. But use subheads to direct the camera to different points in the room. But everything is within interior diner, because they can't be interior the booth because their booth is made of wood. They're not inside.
Also to add to John's thing about like how expensive this is, to get continuity with
Continuity
with food is a bitch. So I don't know if you've ever done that, but you have to basically make as many plates or put the amount of food that's there, because they will eat the food and then you have to do the next take, and then you have to redo the food, because you can't have like all of a sudden there's food there and then there's no food there and then there's food there again.
Like that time Thomas Jane ate my dinner.
Yeah. Ate both our dinners, and then apparently everybody got sick except us.
Exactly. Yeah, it turns out we were lucky.
Apparently the chili had something wrong with it, and everybody had a stomach ache except for Preston and I, because we didn't eat anything. So we weren't
Did he
able
eat
to.
it all during multiple takes? Is that what was going on?
They ate it. What happened is that
there's a dinner scene in Frontier Crucible. We were sitting around the campfire.
Yeah, they had all these.
And Thomas Jane is making this cool speech as he's eating his chili.
And apparently
they kept having to feed him more chili. So they
brought in like I think like 4 cans of beans for all the cast, and they ate all the beans.
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Oh, we're out of food," and then they just grabbed our like whatever was left of the chili, and then used that as beans. So, and we were the car was stuck in a ditch, and that's where we were at the top. We were on top of the mountain, trying to get our cars, waiting for the truck.
Yeah, because the road out to our shooting location was pretty sloped on both sides of it,
and it's only has enough for one car to go through.
And like this one guy had like parked his car in like the middle of the thing, and I had to like so I tried to go around, and I ended up off on the side of the road on this very loose earth. And and I was just stuck.
We were stuck.
So I had to call AAA.
In the middle of nowhere, by the way.
And it was a local. And he's like, this is a local guy who lived in Prescott. He's like, I've never been there in my life. I'm like, well, you can't miss it. There are these big movie lights that are just shining like a massive beacon. Follow them. Then he came out. He's like, what are you doing out here? I'm like, we're making a movie. He's like, he got me out.
And then he had like
and then I went back. I'm like, all right, where's my chili? And they're like, Thomas Jane eating.
Like that bastard.
And then we're over here like eating applesauce. So from like little tubes, because we couldn't eat anything else except what was in craft services, which was a lot of tea and cookies.
And
like applesauce.
But back to the diner story. Any other notes between you two?
I think having your people leaving also fixed that food continuity issue.
Yeah, it would.
You don't have people eating there. You have some people that are done eating, and then you have some people that are coming in to eat.
I could see this done in like a oneer. You know, I could see this done at least the beginning part as a oneer, which is just basically one camera, just doing one continuous shot.
Mhm.
And you could possibly do that without cuts.
That's
But
right. That's how I was
and
thinking of it.
yeah, and you could do that, but then that's extremely hard to do.
That is very technically demanding.
So technically demanding, but it would look really neat
Yes.
to do it all as a oneer.
And that depends. How much do you have to pay your DP to pull that shot
a
off?
lot.
Yeah.
Because
A lot.
I don't know if he's going to want to do that just for food.
Right.
Yeah, but
I mean, you know, like that's when that's like going to an artist and like, hey, I made this comic book. Can you turn it into like a motion comic movie for me? And they're like, no, I cannot do that.
I mean, they could.
I mean, you could.
But
How much
I'll give
money
you
are ready to pay
IMDb
me?
credit.
Yeah. I get you an IMDb credit. No.
And it's like, how much money are you giving me? None. I'm like, I'll it happens with
So yeah, unless you really know like
Yeah.
a director of photography who's looking to make a name for himself, like a very demanding shot like that, I would not recommend.
Yeah, I understand that. There's two goals in doing this. One is to turn something I observed into a story, and then the second part of it is the challenge of managing that much action going on in a single place, because that is what the atmosphere was. Is this one waiter was going bananas trying to take care of everybody by himself. So I wanted to capture that energy.
There's.
But I like the one shot idea.
There was always drama with the waiters. There always is. But a waiter's life is food services is a hard gig, man.
Yeah.
So.
But let me explain some of the backstory on why I came up with this.
Sure.
Is I have another screenplay idea that I've been working on for actually a long time about an assassin. And I want Jack to be the assassin. And he was there we would find out eventually, to actually kill the businessman, but he didn't know that the undercover cops were there and everybody waiting. So he went there, purposely went without his phone so he didn't have ID on him and stuff like that. And he was going to, pull that off. So there's more to be done. That's only 8 pages. And that's where I had seen it going. But I do want this to be kind of a, if you will, a contrast in tempo of what's going on when they come in, that these people are seated in one place. Having them leave and stuff is a good idea to empty the diner at some point and make it a little simpler when the action does take place, because I'm going to fill it up again with some SWAT guys. I'm not worried about the expense at this stage. It's shot in one location. I wanted that challenge of doing something in a location, and I did want it to be one shot. I've read 2 articles recently and a little mini documentary on how they did actually with 2 cameramen going side by side, covering the different ones. And they had they were in a mezzanine and they shot down on what the cameraman had to do. Now, that was for a feature film. I forget which one, but it was pretty freaking amazing, the choreography that was required to do it. So I definitely saw it as one.
There's been a few of those. I just watched Scott Adkins' One Shot last weekend. That was an action film entirely shot. So imagine adding all of the complexity of a one shot that's 90 to 100 minutes long, including fight scenes, gunshots, explosions. And then there was the Korean movie. There was also a Korean movie. I forget the name of it. That was also the same thing. And that had a lot of martial arts and stuff in it. So, I mean, it's been done before.
Yeah, Hitchcock did some very long takes as well, with some interesting things.
Long takes, one shots. They've been coming back. Especially one shots have really, really been coming back because
you're not limited by the
movies,
film. You're not limited by the film, because basically the traditional cameras had about 20 minutes of film.
Well,
it's not
that. I think, in my opinion, one of the reasons why they've been making a comeback is because action movies have been done so much. And so much is now relies heavily on CG that it makes it you get kind of detached from the film. But when you have those really long one shots, that's right, it was Doom, the 2003 Doom movie. That was the first one that I think that was the film that brought it back in the modern day. They had that I think it was 90-second one shot, which was also all in first person because they were trying to recapture the film thing. Yeah. But it was all, and then other films started doing it afterward. The Netflix movie with Thor. They did a really, really good one shot when he's rescuing this girl out of a prison.
What was that
They
series that we watched?
they
that
they
had
even gave
Adolescence.
Adolescence. Every episode is a oneer, like everything, and we were watching like just the first
It's
episode.
very impressive.
It was the
yeah,
first
it is impressive because when you realize like how hard, again, you from a technical standpoint, it's incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it requires everybody to
Yeah.
be on time.
Yeah.
And like then you
No one
wonder
can miss
like,
a cue, you know.
and I
Well,
know
the
and-
blocking is challenged. There's no question that the blocking.
and it's like you have to wonder like, okay, where did they cut this? Like, how
Yeah.
did they cut it? Like,
Yeah.
And,
you know,
Did
well,
they?
the
And
beginning
that's-
shot of like Adolescence was like astounding to me, because at first it was like you're getting shot from the door.
We open and
we
they're
open
like,
at a door, and those guys go inside.
well,
Like,
no, we open in a car.
we open in a
We
car.
open in a car. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
but
start
they-
discussing the
They're
raid,
discussing the
and
raid,
then
and they
they're
go
like,
out,
okay, let's get going. And then we come outside the car,
and then
and
we
then like all these
then-
cop cars are going up to the house, and so we go in like drone mode, like hovering above the
we go
tower.
into
Yeah.
basically a crane shot.
Yeah.
So, and a crane shot, and the crane shot follows them in a steady cam crane shot, and then we get
And
off
then
the
we
crane.
follow as they like
And get off the
bust
crane.
down the door.
They bust
Yeah.
down the door, and then we're all of
Yeah,
a sudden
and
we're
then
in like
yeah,
first person,
handheld. Yeah.
handheld first
Yeah.
person, getting into the thing, telling
Yeah.
everybody to like SWAT team goes down,
Yeah,
everybody
right.
goes down, and you're going from room
And you're
to
like,
room to
man,
room.
how did they do all that? It's pretty cool.
And you're just like, how did they do that? Is that
it's really,
is that
really
drone
kind of
that way? Like, no, that's a crane shot.
Yeah.
So you basically had to have a steady cam person coming off a tripod, get on there, hook it on a crane, take that
Yeah.
crane, drive it from the crane is on a car, take the crane off, and then steady cam it all the
Yeah.
way out. And I was just going like, that is astounding. That's an opening shot.
Yeah.
Opening shot, first episode. That was amazing. So
and you know there are cuts in there somewhere.
Yeah.
So the fact that
Don't
they're
know where.
hiding them is also crazy, which is one of the downsides when larger productions do one shots,
Yeah.
because like the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 had a one shot, but
Yeah.
it's in a sci-fi environment that you know was shot on a green screen and half the characters are all CGI.
Right.
So I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I know they hid all of their cuts all in the CGI shots. Like,
yeah.
oh, we pan from Peter Quill to Groot, who is a CGI character. So obviously that's easy cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like you kind of lose some of that. It's like it's
Yes.
still a really, really cool shot once
Right.
compiled, but you kind of don't have that when you watch a film like what you're talking about, or like one shot that I watched last weekend, or the Korean film where it's like, you know, there's very little CGI because they just don't have the money for it. So they're using every trick in the book, and it's impressive.
I think of
It's-
What I really like are like fight scenes. So
Oh,
Atomic
boy.
Blonde. Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
boy. Oh
Those
boy, had
are
like a-
awesome.
Oh
Yeah.
boy,
'Cause
Atomic
I-
Blonde,
oh my God.
boy.
Yeah.
I watched this movie. It was one of the death races.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
And it was Death Race 3, I think, and there was a fight scene in a
3000?
girls' prison, and I swear none of those girls must have been able to fight because they literally were cutting every 2 seconds. I damn near got a headache.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like it was freaking, and this was a movie where they spent a lot of time with their male characters fighting, and in their race scenes with these long shots. So like they knew what the hell they were doing, and they knew how to compose a long 45, 90-second shot. But when it came to this battle royale in a girls' prison, all bets were off. It was cuts every 2 seconds. I was
Yeah.
just like,
Sounds
holy
like Roger
crap.
Corman.
This was not a Roger Corman film. This was
Death
This was
Race
this-
3000?
no, this was Death Race 3. It was based on the Jason Statham one. So
Oh, I
Jason
don't know
Statham
that
was-
one.
Oh yeah, I know which one you mean.
Oh,
So
I
it was
don't
there
know
was the Jason Statham reboot. It was in 2008.
Yeah.
Then they did another reboot, which was a part 1, part 2.
It's
Which
called
was
the
Death Race
package
2
or
and 3.
something. The
No,
one where he had to pick up somebody and take him somewhere.
no, that's the Transporter. I'm talking about
that's
Death
right.
Race. Death
Okay.
Race is when he goes to prison and he has to race around in the prison, and then they escape. And then in Death Race 2 and 3, they basically give you bigger
Oh.
prisons. So it's the same basic concept. They're all
Yeah.
still in prison, but they just get bigger prisons. At
So
Death Race 3, they're literally in the desert. And
pretty
they're
fast and pretty furious. Yeah.
My point is simply, like combat scenes are really cool as a oneer, in part because it steps away from people who can't really fight, and
Mhm.
so we'll just have one shot of them, swing
swing,
a punch, and
and
then
then you cut
another
and
shot.
shoot
Yeah,
the other,
Well,
and then you
in
cut back.
I wanna
Yeah.
say
In-
praise for one of my for like one of the Revenge trilogy films, Old Boy. And Old Boy has this wonderful scene where he is going against a gang of guys who imprisoned him, and he has to go to the big boss. All he has is a hammer, and he goes against like 40 guys. All it is just one continuous shot of him going through 40 guys with
Yeah.
a single hammer.
and that's where it's
That was
that's
like
why
amazing.
and that's why John Wick is like compelling.
Yeah, that's
like
why-
a lot of
Yeah.
these like
One shot,
fight
one
shots, and it's cool.
one-er fight shots.
Yes, Rob.
Well,
what
they
do you-
had it. There was a scene in All Quiet on the Western Front, the remake
Oh,
of it
yeah.
recently, in the trenches, where it's a one shot and it's quite long, where they go through the trenches and in and out of some of the makeshift headquarters or offices or whatever
There's
they are.
1917, which is an entire movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. I really like 1917.
That's the one shot where where the airplane comes down and gets them.
Yeah.
Kills his friend.
Yeah.
That's a long shot. That's a long scene.
And yes, and I mean the thing about like storytelling as adolescents did it, as we see in 1917, since we've become discussion of the the oneer kind of thing. It's storytelling in real time.
Yeah.
Because you're not cutting, so it's storytelling in real time, and it adds to the gravity of otherwise normal or even banal dialogue.
Yeah.
It's relentless. It's
Yeah.
totally relentless.
Yeah, because like, we were having this conversation and then a biplane crashed out of the sky.
Yeah.
And like the idea is something could happen anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a wonderful music video by Postmodern Jukebox who does "Don't Stop Believing" the Journey song,
Mhm.
and that's all. That entire video is done on a oneer,
Yeah.
and the blocking of that thing is amazing. Plus, you had the costumes. You had a live band, by the way,
Yeah.
doing that, and that was insane. As everyone is singing or lip singing, so that was. Yeah.
Postmodern Jukebox sings live in those things, by the way. That's
Yeah,
their
they do.
thing.
So
That's
that
their
would have
thing.
been done live. So it was a one shot done live
Nice.
with a band plus singing plus where the mics are. I have no idea.
Yeah.
And they're all moving from one shot to
Yeah.
the next, trying to get to that one transition to the next transition, from one character following another character following another character, as you go through this entire room, all set designed, blocked beautifully. It's gorgeous. And the lighting, you have to get the lighting so right. But on your script, going back to it, I can see this as a oneer.
Yeah.
I can absolutely see it as a oneer because you're going from table to table to table because you're following the waitress or the waiter,
Mhm.
and then like that scene comes in, the guy comes in, and you're just like, what the hell? And as the camera moves from like reaction shots to each, I remember and seeing that done as we were reading this, that's what it was going on in my head.
Mhm.
So I'm like, this is one location, this is an all be oneer.
Mhm.
But
Well, that was the challenge I set. I
Yeah.
want to do. I see so many script requests for something that needs to be shot, especially on horror films. In one house, in
Yeah.
one room.
Yes.
We talked about that a few weeks ago. The
Yes.
In one
black
train.
the black
One
telephone.
train.
One train.
In
Yeah.
one train. Canterbury Tales,
Yeah.
Stagecoach. I mean, these are films that put people there in a forced environment, and the tension is just there because you can't escape either what they're saying or their violence or whatever it is. Automatic tension right there.
yeah, and it's or also you're not trusting the people around you. It feels claustrophobic.
Mm,
It's what I like. When I'm on the subway, I hate it. I used to have an office in New York,
mm.
and I hit Penn Station, and I hated being on the subway. I paid extra. I was fortunate enough to have an expense account. I paid to go on taxis all the time. I paid a fortune. Everybody else is on the subway. I couldn't stand being packed on the subway for exactly that reason. Too tense.
Yeah, try it in Japan, man. That sucks.
There you go.
Yeah, you're stuck in like there and sardines and
They're
everybody's
pushing people in. No, they
pushing
shove people in to close the
into the
doors.
cart. Pushing people into the cart. They have to have like servicemen push them in, pack them in there. And then like if you miss the stop, you suck, man. You suck if you stop this, mix the stop.
Oh, man. All right. Well, I think those are all the scripts we had this week.
Yeah.
Quite
Wow.
a bit of scripts.
Yeah, it was
Where's
beautiful.
Danny?
So
Where's
do
Larry?
do you want the next 10 pages of what I've written, or do you want me to write something that's not army based?
I
I
mean,
think I want not army based.
Yeah, change
Okay.
it. I like the idea of the villagers. Watch Oxbow Incident. I swear to God, you see the scene in the bar. You've got your structure because you're halfway there anyway.
And how much train do you want? Is that still mandatory?
I mean, I would say it's not mandatory. But we'll have a train. We'll have a train set. We'll probably have like an interior boxcar set.
You'll have a ghost town or a old
I
town.
mean, like here's the thing: you could have them. You could have the train moving and they're going there, or you could have them stuck on the train and trying to figure out how to get out.
Yeah.
Then they're stuck in a train where they're completely surrounded.
Well, no, I'm only asking because how I'm going to try to.
And those trains only went like what?
I want to say 15? Here's where it's the advantage of
about
the genre,
30 to 40 miles an hour was average cruising speed. They could get up to 60, and sometimes they'd go as low as 20 if they had a turn coming up.
Yeah,
no, but the rails were never good enough for 60 over a long period of time.
But I just want to say, like, this is where it's the beauty of a Western, right? Like, if you want to spend time in the town, or spend time in the plains, or spend time in the train, or the village, or the saloon, or the boxcar, those are all really cheap locations, and it's not that hard to just switch.
And also, it would be kind of neat to see them going from that, and they're going like,
well, the main
train is this train and to the next station.
Yeah.
So the main structure is Act 1 setup, Act 2 on the train, Act 3 is off the train.
Right.
So, is that still the setup, the structure that you want?
Sure.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
That sounds fine.
Okay.
I have nothing wrong with the structure.
Because
the thing I like about a train is its existence and the character's existence on it give them a definitive goal. We're on this train until we get to this place. And then if they're being menaced on the train, like we already have a structure that's kind of built into it.
Okay. Yeah. No, I got it. No, I'm gonna. As I said, I think I'll make our primary antagonist the town sheriff.
Okay.
I think that'll
corrupt law enforcement. There you go.
Yeah.
Yay.
And make him like the one that wants to instigate the crowd.
Yes.
And then I had this other idea which I was working on about the preacher man who thinks that who is predicting at the end times.
Okay.
And he's comparing I'll have to go into it a little bit more, but basically he's comparing the zombie apocalypse as to the white horse.
Pale man? The pale man? Okay.
Yeah, the pale horse and death and the death on the rider of the pale horse is death and hell followed with him.
Yeah.
So that could also add some interesting stuff too that I'm working on. So
line delivered by the amazing Michael Bean.
Yes.
Yes. Indeed. Awesome. Okay.
I am going to Atlanta this weekend, so we'll see how much time I have to get something for you by next week.
I don't think we're gonna have a group next week or the week after.
We'll be on the road.
San Diego Comic-Con is coming up.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I mean, we're driving because I got to take all the merch I got to sell. And
I got a question for you about that.
Yeah.
Why? I'm wondering why you guys, or do you have print on demand for some of it, so you don't have to have so much inventory? I get having inventory for the show,
Yeah.
but for other orders, why you would do print? Why wouldn't you do print on demand?
All right. Well, print
Quality
on.
control.
I mean, print on demand implies usually that's a description used for people who like want to order, for instance, a module or a novel or something. You know, like you write a novel and then you upload it to Amazon's Kindle, whatever, and then someone in Germany can buy the novel and it will be locally printed on demand and shipped to that person.
Right.
We don't normally refer to print on demand when it's just, you know, going to one vendor. Then it would just be
We just
web press or offset printing.
yeah.
And web press is kind of what you're thinking, where it's
Yeah.
and print on demand, by the way, would have the highest per unit cost as opposed to like a web press where it'll be pretty close to that, but they'll give you a discount if you buy.
So-
yeah, but you don't have to buy all that inventory. So
So we actually had somebody who used to be in the group, and he actually started doing his comics print on demand. There was a couple problems that he ran into. He said it didn't bother him. It would bother me. One is that the print on demand has to be a certain page size, and comic book readers expect a certain page size, and the print on demand did not include the correct size for print on demand. The other problem is when you have full page bleeds, they don't always full page bleed properly when
That's a really pretty book you got there, John.
It is a really pretty book. It just happened to be what I had close to me. But my point was the quality of art. People that buy comics, they expect certain things, and I personally want to make sure that I want to deliver what my customers expect, and print on demand can't guarantee that level of quality, of size, and all of those things that I can get. And I use a low volume printer, so my inventory is like 100 books.
Right.
So I've in my storage unit, I've got 100 Angel of Darkness and 100 in Spirit of the Dragon. I sell most of my inventory at Kickstarter. That's when I have my largest volume sales. So if I sell 50 Angel of Darkness, then I just go to my printer and I print 50 more. And then I will always have about a stock in inventory of about 100. So actually, I think my inventory is between 100 and 150 for Angel of Darkness and Spirit of the Dragon. And this last Kickstarter did craptastic, so I won't be needing to print any more of them for that. But we'll see how Atlanta and Tampa Bay do, because I've got Tampa Bay in 2 weeks from this weekend.
There you go. So yeah, I don't think Script Group next week or the week after, because
all right,
San Diego. That'll give people plenty of time to write and stuff. Yeah. Look forward to reading the zombie script when we get back.
I'll have it.
Yeah.
Definitely in 2 weeks. So
cool. There we go. Awesome. All right, everyone. All right. Well, have a good evening.
Ciao, baby.
Good night, everybody.
Voices.
Exactly. Make good choices. Take care.